Hello, beauty. I'm Divinely Jennifer coming in with the Juicy Astrology for May 12th through May 19th. We're going to take it through the first quarter moon on May 19th. My apologies for coming in a day late. I didn't realize that I would need a day to recover after birthing my website and my YouTube channel. So, as always, if you would like a copy of your natal birth chart, please send me an email with your birth date, the location, and the time, or at least an approximation of the time, to hello@divinelyjennifer.com. I'll try to get that out to you within 24, 48 hours so you can see it. And as always, if you have any comments, please, or questions, please leave them in the comments below, whether you are watching this on YouTube or following along on SoundCloud. We have lots to cover, and I'm going to try to cover it in 30 minutes. Wish me luck. All right, beauties, just a reminder that all times listed are Pacific Daylight Time because that's where I am. I'm in the gorgeous Sierra foothills. The animals insisted that I come out and record outside today. So I'm going to go back to May 12th, Wednesday, May 12th, because some good things happened yesterday. And if you're just wondering about that energy that you were feeling, so overall, this is a pretty quiet week. There are a couple of big things happening next week, the week after. So the week after the first quarter moon, I would say from like, I'm just looking at my calendar, from like the 17th through, stand by, 17th through June 5th. Fasten your seatbelt, baby. All right. Thursday, May 12th, the moon started off in Taurus, where she had that lovely, beautiful new moon. And she went void at 5:23 a.m. with a square to Jupiter in Aquarius. So Jupiter was in the last degrees, the anuretic degree of 29th degree of Aquarius. So we might have just kind of felt this overdoing energy permeating the day. But then at 5:42 a.m., the moon moved into Gemini, where she is chatty and sociable and curious and maybe just a little bit duplicitous. So just pay attention to that. She had a beautiful conjunction in the afternoon with Venus, and then she squared Vesta in the evening. So there may have been a little bit of funky energy with the divine feminine. The two big transits yesterday that I want to mention is that Mercury in Gemini trined Saturn in Aquarius at 11:33 a.m. at 13 degrees 25 minutes. So this is a really positive transit. Like both Mercury and Saturn are in their happy places. So they're both in signs that they rule. Saturn rules Aquarius by traditional astrology. Mercury rules Gemini in both traditional astrology and modern astrology. So they're really in their happy places. Saturn is asking us to maybe create some boundaries or structures around our communication. Maybe we're just saying to someone, you know what, let's just not talk about that because all we're going to do is argue. Or maybe it's even like saying, all right, I'm not going to talk to you for a couple of weeks and let's just give each other some space, not in a bad way, but in a really loving way. It was a great energy to write. With this Gemini energy that keeps coming in. So we had Mercury move into Gemini. Now we've got Venus in Gemini. The sun is going to move into Gemini next week. We're really feeling that. So it's a great time to write and communicate, even if it's only going, in your journal or in your book. It doesn't have to be something you're writing out for the world. But it's a great time to speak your truth. All right. So we also had Venus in Gemini, who was quintile Neptune in Pisces at 2:33 p.m. This is some really beautiful energy around pleasure, dreams, intuition. And, if you're doing some light flirting, probably, don't take it too seriously, but you can dream about your soulmate if you don't already have one, because they're manifesting. And then also we had the sun in Taurus conjunct Neptune in Pisces, and that was at 10:45 p.m. And that was a really lovely energy to lie under the stars, or depending where you are, maybe it was daylight already, and you're just, feeding your lover grapes under the trees and enjoying that time outside and in nature. That's really, it was like a lot of fantasy and intuition, love. Like, it was just a really nice energy to shine your light on your dreams and share it with others. All right. So today, May 13th, Thursday. It's already Thursday. What? This is a big day. And so the moon is in Gemini. She makes really lovely transits all day long, with the exception of a square to Pallas Athena in the evening. So just maybe some conflict around strategizing, negotiating. Maybe you're just done with strategizing and negotiating. You're like, screw it, I'm just going to fight you. That's some of that energy. But here's the big thing that we're starting to feel that's coming in. As I record this, it's just shy of noon here in California. And Jupiter is going to enter Pisces at 3:36 p.m. Now, I don't know why the planes keep flying over. I really hope you can't hear them. Jupiter is the traditional ruler of Pisces. And Neptune, the modern ruler of Pisces, is already there and has been there for a while. And Jupiter is going to be in Pisces until July 28th. And then she'll retrograde back into Aquarius. And she'll come back into Pisces on December 28th through May 10th. She's got a pretty speedy transit through Pisces, which is not good and good at the same time because of some of the things that Jupiter manifests. So Jupiter wants to get out of Pisces fast because it's going to have a lot of work to do. It's going to have a lot that it wants to do when it moves into Aries on May 10th, 2022, because 2022 is going to be a big year. Let's just stay focused on 2021 right now. So Jupiter in Pisces. Jupiter, like I said, magnifies everything. Jupiter brings good fortune to everything, abundance. So really, it's a beautiful time to focus on your dreams, on intuition. If you're doing a lot of deep inner psyche healing work, this is a beautiful time to do that. Pay attention to what you're dreaming at night. If you can write down your dreams, what you're dreaming at night, definitely pay attention to that. Pay attention to these inner knowings that are coming in. If you are not listening to your intuition, the universe is going to let you know that if you are out of alignment there. Some of your dreams might feel prescient or predictive, like you might, and pay attention to your deja vus as well, because Jupiter is going to be magnifying all of that. Watch what's coming in. Be very mindful of what you're listening to, what you're allowing into your psyche, the energy that you're allowing in, because it's going to penetrate. Make sure that what you are receiving, what's coming into your psyche, is based on love and not fear. Because again, it's going to be multiplied. And Jupiter is going to offer us some really lovely, beautiful energy over the coming weeks during some tough times. So we're going to really be appreciating the moments where Jupiter makes these luscious trines to both to Venus, and it's going to make a square to the sun. Not great, but when in doubt, go inward to listen to your intuition. Also, this is a time of flooding. So if you're in an area that is prone to rain this time of year or to flash flooding, really listen to those warnings, because they will come out of nowhere and they will be big and they will last. You might also feel like you have to cry, and not like just a little cry, but a serious like wailing that just goes on and on and on until you're an exhausted heap on the floor and you just have to go to bed. That is part of the energy of Jupiter and Pisces. So honor it. It's going to help you clear all of that stuff that might have been sitting inside you that you need to just transmute and get rid of. Jupiter is not going to make a sextile to Pisces or to to Pluto in Capricorn until later in 2022, but which will also be a really beautiful, magnificent transit. So, of transmuting. So, all this stuff that's getting stirred up in your psyche right now, just let it out, let it out. Also, ladies, anyone who has a womb, no matter how you gender identify, we are in a really tough time right now where women are experiencing pretty drastic, severe changes to their reproductive organs because of all of the endocrine disruptors that are out in the environment right now. So now I'm coming in, I'm putting on my nurse hat. And it's really important that you pay attention to your cycle, to your bleeding. There is the chance that you could experience some really heavy bleeding while Jupiter is in Pisces. So if you already experience heavy bleeding, really make sure that you have extra supplies on hand. Maybe have some herbs like shepherd's purse that can help to stop that bleeding, because there is the potential for that bleeding, very unusual bleeding. I've heard stories of women in menopause who have been in menopause for years who have started to bleed again or just are bleeding unexpectedly. So, that again is part of that energy of Jupiter in Pisces. Pay attention to your womb, get an app where you can track your cycle if you don't track your cycle already. If you're on hormonal birth control, again, pay attention. You may need to go off for a while in order to kind of clear all of this stuff that is coming up. So, just something to pay attention to. I don't want to sound any alarm bells, but just again, pay attention, love up your womb. I have a couple of beautiful colleagues who do womb healings, energetic womb healings through Reiki and other modalities. If you want to reach out to them, you can email me or you can go to my website at www.divinelyjennifer.com. Click on the collaborate page, and at the bottom, there's a way you can reach me there. Okay, so just again, just pay attention. So, for the most part, Jupiter in Pisces is very creative and dreamy. There's a lot of fantasy. Try not to get stuck in delusions there. I'll keep talking about this as Jupiter starts making the rounds of transits. All right, so May 14th, the moon. The moon is in Gemini until 3:50 a.m. She goes void with a square to Neptune. So again, Jupiter and Neptune both in Pisces. That could be some delusion, someone telling you that your intuition is off, or just maybe you get a sign from the universe if you're not listening to your intuition. And then she's void all day on Friday. So, not a good day to put something out in the world, to start something, to sign a contract. Just wait. You can talk about these things, but don't do anything until the moon enters Cancer at 6:30 p.m., where she is moody, sensitive, so nurturing. She's loving. She might be a little bit of a helicopter parent while in Cancer because there's a lot of stuff going on. So, it's okay to kind of pay attention, but just be mindful if you're helicoptering a little too much. And then she's got some really nice transits in the evening later. So you'll feel that that love from coming from the moon. She's in her happy place in the moon in Cancer. So just enjoy it. There are no major transits today except that Mercury enters his retrograde shadow. And so what that means is Mercury is going to be turning retrograde on May 29th at, I believe, 24 degrees of Gemini. So he's going to go all the way back in his 21-day retrograde to 16 degrees, 7 minutes of Gemini. So tomorrow on Friday, he hits that point. And so it's as far as he'll travel retrograde. So the shadow side of this Mercury retrograde is lying. And you may be very tempted to tell a few white lies during this time. Know that the truth will be revealed either while Mercury is retrograde or after Mercury stations direct. And you'll feel that in late June. Mercury stations direct on June 22nd. And leaves his shadow on July 7th. So in that time, if you tell a white lie or a big lie, expect that it might be revealed. Same thing for anyone else who's out there telling lies. Gee, maybe the mainstream media could be telling some lies. Let's see if some of those lies are revealed in the coming months, like in the next, not quite 2 months or so. It's also a really good time to review and to just take a look at some of your communications, maybe your communication style, and just, you know, Mercury is going to be making some funky transits while in its retrograde. So, like I said, just pay attention to what you're saying and the communication that you're receiving. And when in doubt, listen to your heart because your heart always has the truth. All right. So, moving on to Saturday, May 15th. Moon is in Cancer all day. The energy is really around home and hearth. Really, the energy is on healing in the home. There might be some changes to the home. So it's possible that you are thinking about moving, or someone is moving in, someone's moving out, just that energy there. And we also have Mars in Cancer at the same time. And Mercury, or the moon, is actually going to conjunct Mars at 10:05 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And there's two things going on here that I want to bring to light. And so we've got Mars in Cancer in an exact inconjunct or quincunx to Saturn in Aquarius at 7:48 a.m. 13 degrees. They're both at 13 degrees, 28 minutes of their signs. So this could be some stress in the home. There could be some conflict around, in the warrior's heart, around boundaries and restrictions within community. Saturn's in the sign of community and innovation, social group, friendships. So you might be feeling some stress there around what you're feeling. There might be some arguing going on. And this is also, there are going to be a few transits coming up in the next several days that are a preview of Mars's opposition to Pluto on June 5th. And we're going to feel this as power struggles grow. So a lot of people are being pushed. There's a lot of social pressure on people to do something for the sake of family that totally, do you see the hummingbird in the background? Woo! Hello, hummingbird. That's a nice energy. A lot of people are being pushed to, there's within their social groups, to discount the sovereignty of their own body and do things to their body that they don't want to do. And that power struggle is going to continue through at least June 5th, probably through at least the end of the year. We're going to keep feeling that. And I'm expecting a big explosion, both perhaps on the personal front, but also within the collective in the days leading up to June 5th or on June 5th. So pay attention to what's happening. Mars will fight for what is, when Mars is in Cancer, Mars is going to fight for what's aligned with his or her heart. That's really going to come up. And this is a fated moment of destiny because Mars is also in a finger of God. And so we have this long-term sextile between Saturn and Chiron that I talked about on the new moon. That's going to be with us for, and I've talked about it last week, it's going to be with us for a couple more months and then come back in 2021. So you've got this energy between Chiron, the healer, the wounded healer, and you've got Saturn, boundaries, restrictions, obstacles, and remember the light side of Saturn, which is that divine fatherly love. And they are in what's called a finger of God. So it looks like this on the chart, pointing right to Mars. And like I said, I talked about this on the new moon, but if you missed it, so we have to be disciplined around releasing the old wounds and the old beliefs to heal our hearts. And this is really a time for self-care, for self-nurturing, for putting on your own oxygen mask first, right? Because Cancer just gives it all away. And then Cancer gets depleted and crawls in its shell until it's full again. So It's no good for anybody when Cancer does that. And I'm a triple Cancer, so I'm allowed to say that. All right. Here, my book, my pages. You'll get familiar with this book as you follow me for astrology. All right, let's talk about Sunday, May 16th. The moon is in Cancer all day long. And there is a lot of really nice energy around earth, dreams, intuition, except the moon. The moon in Cancer goes void with an opposition to Pluto in Capricorn at 11:22 p.m. So again, this is a preview of what's going to happen the week that in those days preceding June 5th, these harsh power struggles between authority, Pluto and Capricorn, and Cancer, our hearts, our nurturing, who we want to be, how we wish to love. And this is going to keep coming up. So just pay attention to it. We also have Venus in Gemini squaring Vesta in Virgo at 8:20 a.m. That happens at 9 degrees, 17 minutes. So mind your temple, your physical temple. Honor the divine feminine within you. You know, flirting is one thing, but make sure you really want to go there with that person before you take it too far, because you're going to kind of want to indulge. And so there are also some loving actions you can take around your home and hearth. If there are things that you want to release, I just emptied out my closets. I took 5 bags and about 30 hangers worth of stuff to our local thrift store that supports the community. So I got rid of all that stuff. This is a great energy to do that. If you're not sure you want to hook up with that person, clean out your closets instead. All right, Monday, May 17th. Sorry, I'm racing through this because I want to get it done for you guys. All right, so Monday, May 17th, we have a pretty big day, actually. And so the moon moves into Leo at 5:43 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The moon in Leo is a leader and an entertainer and a little dramatic. Oh my God. Maybe a little boastful. Did I tell you what I did? Oh my God, let me tell you what I did, right? But also unique, right? But entertain, like what makes someone stand out as when they're entertaining. So that's really the energy of Leo, the moon in Leo. And the only transit she has, only big transit, is a square to Ceres in Taurus at 12:50 p.m. Maybe a little bit of conflict around creativity or the earth. So just pay attention to that. But I want to get to these transits. We've got the sun in Taurus, trine Pluto in Capricorn at 2:48 a.m. So very different from that Cancer opposite Pluto energy that we had with the moon yesterday. This is really lovely. Like I said, 2:48 a.m. at 26 degrees, 43 minutes, the same degree that the moon will go in opposition. And hold on, I got to see something. Okay, so Mars is going to oppose Pluto at 26 degrees, 27 minutes. So not very far away at all in the sky. Pluto is going very, very slowly retrograde. So this transit, Sun trine Pluto, I feel like is one of the best transits of the month, of this lunar cycle, because Mother Earth is standing in her power. And remember how I said in the new moon that part of the new moon energy is we have forgotten that Mother Earth, I think, you know, globally, we've forgotten that Mother Earth is a sovereign being of her own right. And here in this transit, she is standing in that sovereignty. She's standing in her power. So slow down and take pleasure in this moment. Appreciate Mother Earth. Just sit and ground on the earth and say thank you to Mother Earth. We may be experiencing some earthquakes and stuff over the coming months with Uranus in Taurus. So she may shake things up a little bit. I don't think so, but just you never know. But just really use this energy to appreciate Mother Earth and feel how empowered you are when you go out into nature. Feel how connected you are. Feel what a beautiful sovereign being you are when you're appreciating Mother Earth. And none of that other stuff really matters. Take a moment to plant a tree, So that oak tree, such a beautiful example of trees are such a beautiful example of really standing in their power. They sway in the breeze, so they're flexible, they move around, but such a beautiful energy. All right, so this is also a transit to shine your light in the world to help the world transform. Because again, I'm going to keep saying this. I feel like we have to keep transforming these patriarchal energies, authoritarian energies in our world into something a bit more beautiful, where we're standing in our sovereign. And this is a beautiful moment to shine your own light and do that. All right. So we also have Vesta in Virgo, exactly sesquisquare or sesquiquadrate to Eris in Aries at 6:05 a.m. So what does that mean? Well, I did talk about this in the Hammer of Thor at the one of the Hammer of Thors at the new moon. Again, has that shape on the chart, not as like pointed like the finger of God, is a little bit more open. So Eris is really, really protective of the divine feminine. Eris representing the wounded feminine. She's very protective of the divine feminine because she doesn't want the feminine to be subjugated anymore to the crap of the wounded masculine. And so Vesta also wants to protect Eris. There's this really beautiful energy there. And so she wants to teach Eris how to channel that anger into something positive. She wants Eris to channel that energy into love. That can be hard sometimes when there's so much wounding and so much trauma and so easy to get triggered these days. So pay attention to that energy. See if you can transmute your anger into love. And then speaking of love, Venus in Gemini conjuncts the North Node in Gemini and then has an opposition to the South Node in Sagittarius. That happens at 1:38 p.m. They're all at 10 degrees, 46 minutes of their signs. So whatever dreams and ideas you have been writing down, feel into them and give them some love. And what happens when you approach your purpose from a place of love? How does that shift? If you approach that purpose from a place of anger, not so good. If you approach that purpose from a place of love and how you can be of service to make this world a better place, so juicy. But what old beliefs around love and around your purpose and around being of service do you need to let go of? Being in service doesn't mean you give everything away and you live in poverty. Being of service means you are using your gifts to bring your highest self out so that you can make this world a better place. Whether you're on YouTube or, within your local community, it doesn't really matter. But are you aligned with that? So watch for signs and symbols, maybe ask for a sign from the universe on Monday, like, hey, I'd really like a sign. Am I on the right track? And pay attention because you just might get one, or you might meet somebody and you're like, oh my God, it's a kind of a good day to meet a soulmate or meet somebody if you don't have that special someone in your life. So like I said, pay attention to that. All right, Tuesday, May 18th. It's a pretty busy moon, pretty busy sky. The moon is in Leo all day long, and she's doing a lot of work around having a lot of fun with love and healing. Has a square to Uranus, so there could be something shaken up. That's in the middle of the night, California time, 4:03 a.m. She's got a very busy morning, and then she's just, moving through Leo. And then she ends the day with a trine to Juno at 8:22 p.m. So a really fun, passionate energy to be with someone in your committed partnerships. And passion doesn't have to be physical, right? Just have fun with that. All right, so we have 4 transits I want to tell you about today. We have Pallas in Pisces squaring squaring Juno, retrograde Juno in Sagittarius at 3:07 a.m. They're both at 20 degrees, 31 minutes. So your intimate partner might have some different strategies or approaches or beliefs, belief systems. And so this transit says negotiate before fighting. if you can. We also have Venus in Gemini, sextile Chiron in Aries at 4:43 a.m. at 11 degrees 33 minutes. This is a beautiful moment for healing and healing through love, mentoring through love, especially the wounded masculine. So if when Pallas squared Juno at 3:07 a.m., you got in a little tiff with your honey, use this transit to bring healing to it. The wounded masculine is just as wounded as the wounded feminine. And, let your sincere words of love, Venus is in Gemini. She's showing love in a lot of different ways, but especially through communication. So let those words of love be a soothing balm to Chiron's wounds. And also mentoring, like, listen, if I say something that hurts you and then I love you up this way, then you can, maybe mentor that, like, okay, so this is how I do it. And this is what would feel good for me too. We have two sesquiquadrates, two stressful other energies that follow that transit. We've got Venus in Gemini in a sesquiquadrate to Pluto in Capricorn at 7:43 a.m. So again, that power dynamics with Pluto. So the authority figures and the patriarchy, they do not want us to approach communication from a place of love, because love empowers the individual. Love empowers. Fear takes us away from our power. So we can't tap into our power when we're in a place of fear. So keep speaking love, no matter how much fear is coming your way, especially as a mom. If you want to be a responsible parent, that's how you should do it. If you want to be responsible to the people you love, you need to do this. Nope. Guess what you need to do for the people you love? You need to love them. And that's pretty much it. And we also have Mars in Cancer sesquiquadrate Jupiter in Pisces at 4:42 p.m. So trauma, this might trigger some trauma. It might trigger some tears. Allow Jupiter to be a balm. So maybe instead of fighting, it's a great transit to take a bath or go swimming. Tap into healthy healing waters. If you have a lake or a river or a pond or an ocean nearby, what a beautiful transit to go there. And just, feel the water, feel the home of the water. Stay close to home if you need to, if that feels better and more nourishing to you, but you don't have to keep fighting. I think that's really the energy that's starting to come up. You don't have to keep fighting. All right. Last day. Wednesday, May 19th. Okay. So the moon in Leo has a really nice trine to Eris in Aries in the middle of the night for us in California at 3:53 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So I feel like that's a great energy to work out, to get out some of that energy if you need to. And then the moon in Leo squares the sun in Taurus at 12:12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time at 29 degrees 1 minute. The sun is on the verge of moving into Gemini. This is the first quarter moon so the moon goes void with the first quarter moon so it's the first square of the moon with the sun since the new moon on Monday, May 11th. So what intentions did you set with that new moon on May 11th? And this is a beautiful moment to take a slow, indulgent step towards that intention. So it's not necessarily something you're like, I got to rush. Sun in Taurus is not rushing. The sun is at the last degree of Taurus. So the sun is really feeling the pleasure, feeling the indulgence, feeling into being deliberate with that energy, that beautiful energy of Mother Earth and of our sovereign bodies tied to Mother Earth, of food, also foods that you might love. Take the time to chew your food in this moment and take the time to connect to nature as you feel into the oneness of the world, that we're all connected through nature. This is a beautiful void moon. We only feel that energy for about an hour and a half. The moon moves into Virgo at 1:59 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The moon becomes much more grounded, focused, productive, loving, a little bit like serious loving. In that like, no, come on back. Let's do this. Come on. Yeah, no, come on. We got to do this. We did my daughter, we helped my daughter with her taxes this morning. That's kind of that energy, like, nope, we got to get it done. Come on, we got to do it. So that's the energy of Virgo, the Virgo moon. And she's pretty creative actually today. Like she's down to earth, she's down to business, but she's feeling that creativity and that nurturing. We have a couple of nice transits and a couple of stressful transits today. We've got Mercury in Gemini, making an opposition to Juno, retrograde Juno in Sagittarius at 1:42 a.m. They're both at 20 degrees, 21 minutes. So again, be mindful of communication with your honey or in any committed, intimate partnership that you might have. And, it's harder to take words back sometimes than it is to just not say them at all. So when in doubt, breathe before you speak. We have Mercury in Gemini also in a biquintile to Pluto in Capricorn at 11:52 a.m. So this is a beautiful moment to speak your truth, stand in your power, acknowledge your truth. Not necessarily speaking it out loud, but it's pretty supported. You can also just write it in your journal. This is my truth. We've got Mercury in Gemini square Pallas Athena at 5:54 p.m. They're both at 20 degrees 53 minutes. So rethinking strategies around communication. Is it really worth debating? Is it really worth disagreeing? Is it worth being right? Is it worth the conflict? Probably not. I guess it depends what sign you are, where your first house is and your sun sign. For me, it's not. I really would prefer to have a little less conflict, a little less disagreement in my life. But so you're going to kind of feel that. And Pallas asks us to maybe strategize a little bit more around the hard conversations that we need to have. And last but not least, we have Venus in Gemini trining Saturn in Aquarius at 6:58 p.m. They're both at 13 degrees 30 minutes. Okay, so we had Mercury making this same transit. When was that? Back on Tuesday, the last week, or on the last Wednesday, sorry, the 12th. So we're really feeling this energy of commitments, boundaries, structure. And so this is a beautiful moment to recommit to love, recommit to loving communication. So again, what did you commit? Or what did you commit to in early February? Venus and Saturn came together in a conjunction in Aquarius for the first time in several decades. And so many of us set an intention around that. And how are things going? How are things manifesting around that commitment? You might need to create some boundaries or some structure around that loving commitment and how you give your love, especially within community. So boundaries aren't bad. Boundaries are often necessary for energy to flow because otherwise it just, kind of goes out into the ethers. So sometimes setting boundaries can be great for love. A great action to take for love. So you might be feeling into that as well. Or you might say, okay, social groups, especially like social media. All right, I'm going to set a boundary. I'm only spending this much time on social media or responding to messages or, any of that energy around communication, love, social groups, etc. So feel into it. And anytime you honor those trines, you get a boost. It's like someone's like, okay, here's like, stand here. I'm going to boost you up to wherever you need to go. All right, my friends, beauties, I was not successful in keeping this to 30 minutes. Oh, well. Mercury's in Gemini. We got a lot to say. When Mercury moves into Cancer, there won't be quite as much to say because we'll be feeling it all. I hope this has been helpful for you. Please hit the subscribe button, whether you're listening on SoundCloud or you're watching this on YouTube. And please leave your comments below if you find this helpful or if you have questions or just need more information. And if you would like to schedule a reading with me so you understand how these transits impact you personally, please visit my website at www.divinelyjennifer.com. I'm so proud. I'm such a proud mama of the website. She is beautiful and grateful to my vision doulas who helped me bring her to life. I'm sending you so much love this week. Keep going. Keep going. It's going to be tough. Know that I'm here. We're all here for each other in love. Hopefully, you can hear the birds singing in the background. If you need support, listen to the birds, tap into earth. We'll get through this. I love you all so very much. It is my honor to do this reading for you. Have a beautiful week. This has been the Juicy Astrology for May 12th through May 19th, 2021. And I'm Divinely Jennifer. Mwah.